right, Coach, you start us off. Some opening comments.
Yeah, excited about game week. I think anytime you go through camp, you can tell that we had our first game week practice last night. There were a lot of bounce, a lot of energy, a lot of guys flying around, just excited about not hitting on each other, but getting ready for that first game. And I think we're coming out of camp relatively healthy. I think the biggest question mark is still Alex Gibbons. Just trying to integrate him. He's been doing a bunch of walkthroughs, a bunch of stuff conditioning wise, doing everything he can. I think he's still going to be day to day at this point. Probably no more Tuesday and Wednesday as we try to integrate him back into the practice. So I think he'll be day to day, but should be able to tell you more on Wednesday, a little bit more definitive on him. But other than that, we're pretty healthy. Excited about going to Memphis to play. I think that's a huge fan base for us. The location is very close. It's very, very important for us. A lot of respect for them as a team. Coach Norvell's done a great job. Do a great job running the ball. RPOs, their quarterback's very accurate. They do a very, very good job with that. A lot of defensive guys coming back, so they have a lot of experience coming back on the defensive side of the ball. But overall, just really excited to get out there and go play, and just excited about game. So with that, I'll open up for questions.
Coach, going back to Alex, is it actually that realistic to have him play if he's not practicing at all?
Yeah, again, so his experience gives him a chance to do that. Obviously, your biggest concern is, just his conditioning. So we've been doing a lot of that, building a base so he's not starting from ground zero. But I think his experience gives him a chance to do that.
Now that you've got a spring under your belt and an August under your belt, summer volunteer workout, where do you think these kids are knowing the two new systems?
Well, I think anytime you have a lot of new players, you find out a lot in the first game. I do think, we've had a really, really good camp. We've had several good scrimmages of good on good, and that's probably your biggest indicator, is when you're out there doing it live in the stadium, is, how are they doing when the coaches are off the field, they're in the box. And I thought the competition's been good, the understanding has looked good. I think it's been several good competitions. I think that creates some learning faster because you got guys pushing, and I think that's good too.
Matt, you talked about the value of this game with the fan base in Memphis and all the people you have around there. What's the value of this game from the recruiting perspective? It's obviously a market with so many players nearby that y'all are looking at.
Yeah, I think still one of the top factors in recruiting is distance. And with Memphis being an hour away, I think it's really important. There'll always be really good players in Memphis, and that'll always be one of our top areas just because of location. But I think our fan base being there, I think we'll have a really good crowd. I think it'll be a great atmosphere, so I'm really excited about that.
Matt Corral, he's been a given around here for a while, and he's the guy that you guys are wrong with, but still he's making his first college start on Saturday. What about his progress advancement from the spring through fall camp? Where's he at now?
Yeah, I think you look at all the little things. Obviously, he's gotten better, more comfortable in the system. But I think it's the leadership, feeling comfortable, talking to the receivers, talking to the O-line, feeling comfortable in that leadership role. And I think him going out to SEC Media Days, doing all those little things, I think makes a big difference because he was thrust into that role. But I think he's done a good job with it.
Matt, what is the plan for the quarterbacks behind Corral? Do you try to work these guys into games? Do you try to put Herbert red shirt? How do you think he used it?
Yeah, I think the 4-game rule does give you a little bit of flexibility, but given for all freshmen, I think John Rice does give you a lot with his legs. In every scrimmage he showed up making plays. Grant probably all around. He's a very smart, good decision maker. So they all kind of bring something a little bit different to the table. So we'll just have to kind of play that by ear and see how it works out. But Matt will go in as a guy, and that's the mindset.
Questions?
I know you know better than we do. Matt Corral's got some toughness about him, kind of a linebacker mentality. I'm sure you've taught him how to slide, right?
Well, I think that this offense, we want to make them defend all 11 people all the time, but I think there is a time to be smart and not take needless hits just to try to run somebody over. So I think being smart will be part of it, but also you want to let that competitive fire show. But again, I think that's part of growing up and being experienced, and that learning process is learning when to be able to do those things.
Matt, in your mind, what's the biggest challenge to getting a Nick Broker or one of these other true freshmen ready to play as quickly as you've had to?
You know what, I think, just again, when you go out there in your scrimmages and he's playing against really good defensive linemen, that's your best opportunity is to go out there and see the speed of the game, what it's really gonna be like. Now, obviously, you can't simulate a true game, but you just try to make practice as much like a game as you can and put him in those tough situations where there are no coaches around, they can't hear they're out there, and I think that's the best teacher that you have. And I think he's a little bit more mature than most freshmen in his learning curve. You could tell pretty quickly that he was going to have an opportunity just with his effort and his toughness and things like that. So, I think he'll be ready when if he gets thrown out there.
Matt, looking at the depth chart, you have Momo and Dante Evans kind of listed as one of those either-or positions. What has Evans kind of showed to push a guy that like Momo that's been there so long?
He had a really good summer, and he's just been very vocal. He showed up on all the special teams. He's been very physical on all the scrimmages. And this 3-4, it really kind of fits him because he's not leaving the box, and he's been very physical, within the A gap, B gap. So I think he's had a very good camp.
Matt, with all the new guys you have who might be starting for the first time, is there something you say this week to maybe control their excitement, not get them too involved?
Yeah, I was, for me, you're watching all the games, you're watching Florida, Miami, and you're seeing all the things, and I think just sitting back and showing them some of maybe the mistakes and just try to show them what, game situations, you try to watch them and simulate it. But that's what we do in the mock game. We try to simulate any situation they could possibly be in. And I don't think you can cover them all, but you try. You have the checklist and you go through everything. You watch games, see different things as far as clock management, fourth and long, all the different things that happen in a game. And it's especially tough for a freshman. But I think you just try to cover it and go over the checklist and you put them out there. And but again, I think we've done a good job with that and putting them in a bunch of game-like situations.
And I know that you recruit JUCO guys to make an immediate impact. When you look at the depth chart here on the defensive side of football, you got 3 JUCO guys that are listed as starters. Just talk about that a little bit and how you guys may have hit on those guys.
Yeah, I thought we did a really good job with identifying some guys that could come in and help us. When you think, Jonathan Haynes, Sam Williams, Kia, they pop out. Dontario Drummond, you don't count Scotty because he was already here, but that's another one. So we've had some guys, and I think when you do recruit your college guys, you're recruiting them to come in and play. That's what you're telling them when you're recruiting them, and that's the truth. You're not, if you want to build up a guy, you're taking a high school guy, but for immediate needs, I think junior college is very important. I think we have hit there, and look forward to some of those guys stepping in and being, a big part of offense and defense.
We've talked about Broker and tackles, but if you have to have guards, Matt, come off the bench, who are you guys?
Yeah, so I think Bryce Matthews is a guy that can do it, and he'll do a good job there. So I think he'll be a guy that Jalen Cunningham and Chandler Tuitt. So those 3 guys in the mix right now at guard. But I think Bryce gives you that utility player because he's a veteran. He knows he's played every position, including center. He gives you a little bit of a comfort zone because he can play so many different things. So I think and he's a very mature, very just a great kid. And I think he'll do great in any spot he gets thrown in.
And watching those 2 games Saturday night, a bunch of missed tackles that led to big plays. What's the balance for you in tackling and practicing tackling versus trying to stay healthy through fall camp?
I think every coach in America wants to answer to that because I think that you have to, obviously our live scrimmages, we went live and we tackled and you just got to suck it up because you have to do it some. But, again, in your third period is learning how to practice, learning how to be in good positions and people running to the football. I think that's very important because you can't just tackle all the time because then the guys will be hurt and won't be there, and that's not good either. But I think, the live tackling periods were good, and I think you find out a lot in that first game, as you can see. But because I was watching it with the defense at Coach McIntyre's house, and we were, commenting on that, especially the quarterbacks. You're chasing the quarterbacks in the pocket, and in practice you blow the whistle and they're dead. When you get close to them, now they're able to run around and scramble, and it is a big difference. So I think the defense understanding that is a huge deal.
Coach, going to this year with St. Philip's freshman, can you just talk about the way that situation?
Yeah, that's arguably the deepest and best position on our team. I'm very excited about the explosiveness that we have at running back. I think Scotty's had a great camp. He's, he's at 205 or maybe a little bit under. He's in great shape right now. And then, Isaiah Woolard is a great kid, hard worker. You got Jerry Neely that provides, unbelievable speed and playmaking ability. And Snoop Connor he's a very, very tough runner, and he's done a great job. So I think we got a lot of weapons and a lot of depth there.
Coach, most of the media outlets, betting lines